Well, what's up, guys? This is Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and we're going on a little road trip today. We're gonna get packed up. Oh, bear, quit. We're gonna get packed up and we're gonna go visit a fellow YouTuber. So we're gonna go see Kevin and Rachel from Hidden Heights Farm. You may be familiar with Kevin's channel, but Kevin came down, I don't know, a month and a half or so ago and bought one of our buck kids. We had a spotted Kiko boar buck that we raised this year that he was really interested in. He's been using it to breed some of his younger does, but it's really fun to get to go tour other farms and see how other people set up their barns and pastures and how they rotate and what they use for feeders and what they use for hay feeders and all that cool stuff. So today we're gonna go on a little road trip. Like I said, it's about a 4-hour drive. He lives way up there in the land of Dutch. Him and Dutch from Keeping It Dutch are friends, live just down the road from each other. So we're gonna visit Dutch and got a little surprise in store for you guys in a later video. But today we're going to be visiting Kevin from Hidden Heights Farm. The guy is, their place is incredible, guys. I've only seen it on video, I haven't been there in person, but they have an awesome looking farm. I can't wait for you guys to see it too. This is Kevin from Hidden Heights Farm.
What's going on, guys?
Kevin and his wife came down and bought that little buck goat from us, and he's right over here in the pen with some small does. But Kevin raises Kiko goats and Spanish goats. Now, I've never had Spanish, but I kind of want to give you a chance to talk about the Spanish goats, what they are, why people raise Spanish. They're pretty, man. He's got a herd of, they're registered, right?
Yeah, registered, solid black.
Oh yeah.
They come out of Texas. We'll walk over and take a look at them. We'll talk about them.
Well, let's go look at the Spanish, and then I noticed you got a new hay feeder over there. I got my eye on that thing. I really like that. And my old hay feeder that I built works, but it's not great. So I want to look at that. But let's go look at these Spanish goats. I do have one question though, Kevin.
Yep.
Do you hang out with that guy much?
Oh yeah.
All the time. I'm always borrowing stuff.
This guy can't even tell the difference in goat and lamb.
Hey, you know better because by now you've got seen the video.
Well, Mojo came from Sulphur too.
That male Pyrenees right there is a massive beast. And Kevin actually found Mojo. Literally, this is no kidding. We live 4 hours apart. Kevin found Mojo on Craigslist or Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook.
Facebook, and he literally was at a farm about 4 miles from my house.
Right.
So they came down, picked up Mojo, got him a new livestock guardian.
Worked out great because we were talking about buying that one of your little bucks.
Yeah.
And Jerkface Jr.
Double trip, made it worth the while. But look at the size of that guy. He's huge.
3 years old.
Hey Mojo, what's up, buddy? Look at there. Those look like some Dutch quail.
Hey, there was some good stock right there.
Keeping It Dutch's farm.
Yep, them were good stock.
Yeah, I heard he raises runt quail sometimes that don't make much meat.
Got bucks up there on that spool. That ain't eat me up. Don't let that dog in here.
Hey, oh, dog crap.
I don't have this food, Daisy.
Kevin's got him a creeper pen with one of the creep feeder gates like I've got from Premier One. Works perfect. Got him a nice little stall in here where he can separate kids out and feed them so they're not getting picked on by the mamas when they're trying to eat. So all the black goats are Spanish, and then there's a few Kiko ones, a few Kiko goats kind of mixed in here. They're the brown ones and the different color, but I just think it's really cool how Kevin has a solid black herd of Spanish goats. So I've never owned Spanish. I know a little bit about them, but so tell me and tell my viewers why people would want Spanish. What are the perks of a Spanish goat?
All right, guys. So like Dutch, me and my family, my wife, we used to raise hair sheep. Well, hair sheep get pretty big and they're kind of stupid. Sheep are dumb.
Amen.
No offense to the sheep ranchers and farmers, but they were just a hassle for me and my wife to work and take care of. They're super strong. They get really big. So we were looking for a goat that was super hardy where we didn't have to work and deworm and all that all the time. So we did our research, and that's why we went with these Spanish goats. The little history on the Spanish goats. Spanish goats was brought to the Americas back in the 16th century from the Spanish sailors. They dropped them off in the Caribbean islands. That way when they were making their runs, these goats lived on these islands and self-sustained themselves and just
so
bred.
They always had a food supply.
They always had food supply. Well,
That's cool.
they introduced them to Texas, let them loose. Spaniards got beat out, whatever, in the wars and stuff. The goats stayed. Texas ranchers got these goats. These goats lived in Texas by themselves in the wild, just like deer. And you know, survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
And that's why these goats, these Spanish goats, are so hardy. You know, they learn to survive in Texas on mesquite trees, pretty much like a desert in
Cactus and dust and mesquite.
Right, and that's just a little history on the Spanish goats. But this particular line that we have comes from a big ranch in Texas, 5,000 or 6,000 acre ranch, I believe. It's a Coy Ranch. It's the last name of a couple that has raised these goats for, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 years, and they bred them to be solid black. If you guys look at them, the majority of them are just solid black, and that's where we got these lines straight out of Texas. They don't feed them at all down there. They're raised on mesquite trees, brush, grass, just whatever they can get. And they are very, very parasite resistant, so we've never had to deworm them. If we do have any Spanish goats that we will have to treat for worms, we'll sell them, we'll butcher them, get rid of them. We don't want to introduce them back into our stock because we want to breed the most hardy goats that we can.
Right. You want that resistance.
Right.
Yeah. So that's awesome. They're carefree, maintenance free. Turn them out on not the greatest pasture, but you say not the greatest pasture, but you've got some amazing looking
got a lot of brush.
That you do have a lot of brush, but you got goats, and they do better on the brush than I mean they do.
Yeah, guys. The Spanish goats are considered a brush goat, along with Kikos and boar goats can be too. If you guys look around, there's not a leaf hardly lower than 6 feet tall. These guys go through and clean house, so they're a dual-purpose goat. Really, a lot of people use them for brush cleanup, and a lot of people, they're also meat goats.
Yeah.
And
so I have one question. Since we're talking about this and we're trying to push all this.
Sure.
By the way, Kevin has a YouTube channel. It's called Hidden Heights Farm. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description box down below, and I'll put a card up and all that stuff. So go check him out, Hidden Heights Farm. But the question is, are you going to be selling kids anytime soon? Are you going to be?
We've got 4 bucks for sale right now. We've already got one spoken for. They're just about to wait to butcher, so we're gonna have some bucks for sale, but no does. We're still trying to raise our numbers on our breeding stock. But
so you got a buck turned in with all your does. Yes. When will you kid out again?
We're gonna have kids. He's been breeding them for the last month, so we're gonna have kids about, I think, February 8th. We're gonna have some
next spring you should have a bunch of Spanish kids. So if you're looking for some Spanish goats, you want to try something different, Kevin's gonna have a ton of Spanish goats on the ground soon, and maybe you just want a buck to add to your herd to crossbreed. Like I said, you can buy just a buck and then put him on your does, and you'd have 50% Spanish, which you can cross them with pretty much anything you want.
And that's what we're doing with these Kikos. You know, a lot of people say, why would you mix the Kikos and Spanish? This is just a trial thing.
Yeah.
We're keeping our DNA registered Spanish herd, but we wanted to introduce these Kiko nannies, these big, healthy Kiko nannies in with this Spanish buck, and just see if we can raise some commercial goats just for the meat market.
Right. Gotcha. Well, that's awesome. Well, I want to go take a look at old Jerkface Jr. Let's go see what you got going on with him over there. So what's this, Kevin? This new? Is this something you just got?
Yeah, we just picked this up this last weekend. Found it on Craigslist. We've been wanting one for a long time, but they're super expensive. They're like 1,500 bucks new. Found a good deal on this one. It was in a barn covered in chicken crap and a lot of dust. So got it set up and power washed, and we don't have it set up in our little corral area yet, but man, this will make life a lot easier here working these goats. So
you got a little working system. You can set an alleyway up, run the goats up the ramp, and then you got a head gate up here, so your goat will run through and you can lock their head. There you go. So goat will come through and you lock their head in there just like you would cows when you're working cows. But what's cool about it is you can open up the sides, so while the goat's locked in there, then you can do whatever you need to do, trim hooves, vaccinate, whatever, and the goat's locked in there and can't go anywhere. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can get in on either side. If you got one that's fussy with you, you can put the head right here, put this over their head where they can't kick around on you. You know, especially if you're working them by yourself. Give them your drench or whatever meds or whatever, give them your shots, and let them out. They can jump right out and go on.
So here's the round bell feeder I've been eyeballing. Did you build this or buy this?
Bought this. Local welder here, custom made. Actually got it from a, got the idea from another Spanish breeder that lives over in Claremore, Oklahoma. And him and I have been talking, and I said, hey, I noticed in some of your pictures in the background, you got these awesome looking hay feeders. I was like, I need some of them things. So he hooked me up. We bought 2 of them. The guy gave us a better deal. They're super durable. They're not super heavy, but they're built on skids. They came just raw metal, and I went ahead and primer painted it. I put about 4 coats on here, especially on the bottom. I got a lot more coats, but I can move this thing around by hand or with the tractor. Easy to load. The goats, he says his goats do not get on top of the hay and do their thing. You know, a lot of times they'll pee and poo on it, and then they get real picky with the hay. So this thing's gonna save us a lot of money.
So that's the problem I've had with feeding round bales. I love feeding round bales to my goats because you can put 1 bale out and it lasts you for weeks. But with the system I've got, which was just a cattle ring, and I ran some cables across and kind of made a sling, there's nothing to block the goats from getting on top of the bale. And goats are wasteful, and they also don't care where they pee and poop. So they'll pee and poop on top of a round bale of hay, and then they won't eat it anymore. Once they start peeing and pooping on it, they just, which I don't blame them, I wouldn't either, but yeah, it's wasteful. So this, I'm looking into getting something like this for sure.
I can hook you up. Come on, Mojo.
So I don't know how well you guys can see this on camera, but Kevin has got one heck of a view. I mean, the house is right there. Don't mind Dutch, that kind of takes away from it, but anyways, look at this view. I mean, my goodness. He kind of sits up on a hilltop. All right, where's he at? Where's our buck?
Oh, man.
Not you, not you. Looky there. So that little buck right there came from our farm, that's what Dutch would say, I think. Look at him. He calls him Jerkface Jr. He kind of does look like his dad.
But it worked before.
What's up, buddy? I ain't seen you in a while.
Yeah, he's pretty stinky right now, so.
So you think he's doing his job breeding a few does for you?
Well, here's the deal. A lot of people said, why did you put a Kiko buck in with the pygmy goats? Well, a lot of these pygmy goats are half Kiko, half pygmy. They're just a little bit smaller. We had Jerkface Jr. in with the Kiko nannies. We had our Kiko nannies that you guys just seen over there on their own pasture. And I think he got 3 or 4 maybe bred that I actually saw, but a lot of the older mature does wouldn't have any part of him.
Yeah.
And they were ready to be bred. They kept running the fence next to our Spanish buck, so I just opened the gate and let them on in and brought him over here to get these pygmy goats bred. So
well, typical women going for the bigger, stronger, older guy. You know, that's kind of the story of my life in high school, it seems like.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's Hidden Heights Farm. This place is awesome, dude. You've done a lot of work. You got a lot of fences. I can tell you put a lot of work into your fences. You put a lot of work into your barns. A lot more work than some people I know. I mean, some people have really pretty houses.
Some of us got full-time job. Kevin, he don't know what he does.
Yeah.
He's a homesteader. I'm not a homesteader.
I mean, if you're familiar with keeping it Dutch, you've seen his fence building skills and what Jesse did to his fences.
I'm blaming it all on Jesse.
Jesse would not do that to the fences here because there's a little nicer
what
fence.
happened to your new fence?
So this is my video. We're going to talk about this. So anyways, guys, go check out Kevin from Hidden Heights Farm. The Spanish goats, I mean, he's got a few Kikos. He's kind of dabbling, mixing and breeding Kiko and Spanish together, just kind of playing, I think, just testing things out. But the Spanish herd, go check them out over there. They're really cool goats. They're really parasite resistant. You just can throw them out and let them live on their own just about. That's what they were bred to do. So if you're interested in Spanish goats, go check out Kevin, Hidden Heights Farm on YouTube. I think you got Facebook and Instagram, right?
Yeah.
So Hidden Knight's Farm, pretty much across the board, all the social media stuff. Go subscribe to his channel.
Please subscribe, guys. We try to post a video every 2 days, and at least 1 or 2 videos of goats every week. Everybody loves goat videos, it seems like.
How many subs are you up to? Almost 10,000.
Hey, I'm about 400 from 10,000.
Get him to 10,000.
Oh, yeah.
Daniel,
You
get
guys,
him to 10,000.
you guys can easily push him over 10,000
Get him to
subscribers.
15,000.
Come check us out.
Listen to this guy back here.
Let's do 20,000. Y'all can do it.
You're spending somebody else's money, aren't you? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But anyways, go check him out. It's an awesome place. He's done a lot of work here, and it looks amazing. I'm kind of embarrassed that he came down and saw my scraggly little pastures. But anyways, guys, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Y'all have a great day. And as always, we'll see you on the next video.